Hello, my name is Michael Vasquez. There may be some who are seeing this that will recognize me as a member of the press over the last 15 years, doing mostly political commentary. But that's not why I'm reaching out today. Today, I'm reaching out to you as a regular citizen. And I'm reaching out to you because of a concern that I have, a concern that is something that's affecting many communities across America at this time. Since 2020, we have seen a large emphasis in America on race, race relations, racial justice. That's a conversation that should be had. I believe in the First Amendment. I believe all conversation should be available to the public. But that's not always the case. We see many groups throughout America who have a very different opinion. They only want one side of a conversation to be heard, and they'd like to silence anyone else. I disagree with it. And there are others who believe that there's only one way to look at race relations. There's only one answer to that. And I do not agree with many of the viewpoints that are filling our entertainment, our news media, and very often our education system, from kindergarten to the highest levels of universities and colleges. In fact, that's the reason why I'm speaking to you today about an event that will be happening at a college in New York State, very close to my home. This is going to be an event on May 3rd at SUNY Broome, which is in Binghamton, New York. Now, the event is an event that has happened once before. In fact, it was on December 8th of 2021. And I did go to that event, and I recorded the event, and I made political commentary on that event. But that event is going to be happening once again, and that will be on May 3rd. And I seek to protest that event because I disagree with it. I disagree with its principles. I disagree with its objective, the means by which it is being done, because I believe it's counterproductive. I think rather than unifying people, rather than bringing people closer together on the issue of racial disparity and race issues in America, it will separate people. It will create greater division. It will create greater disharmony in this community. And this is something that we're seeing throughout all of the United States at this time. You may agree or you may disagree. That is your choice. But I disagree with this event. And I think many Americans would also disagree with this event. The event itself is a racial justice deliberation, essentially a discussion, at least that's how it's described, on race and how to improve race relations in the United States. But this event doesn't achieve that goal. Rather, in my point of view, the event is a railroad system in that it leads to only one conclusion, and there is only one voice in this discussion. That isn't a discussion. That isn't a deliberation. For lack of other words, an indoctrination. It is putting people on a path that only has one destination. There is no other option. There is no other path that can be taken. That, I think, is counterproductive to free speech. It's counterproductive to finding a solution to problems that some feel are very significant in America and others less so. That's why I'm asking people to come out and to protest, not to silence anyone's speech. I believe in free speech. I believe the answer to bad speech is more free speech. No, rather, I wish to make sure that the protest makes clear that there are other paths, that there are other discussions, that there are other viewpoints besides that of critical race theory and its application, that any form of justice that needs to be described by another word first, racial justice, environmental justice, social justice, is not in fact justice, but a political agenda that seeks to raise up one political faction at the cost of all others. So I have been asked, why protest the event? If I disagree, why not just not show up? Why should anyone show up to a protest? We can just not go. Well, that's true, and there is no question on that. But of course, we've seen many events from left leaning sources that say, hey, we want to protest because we want our voice to be heard. We want people to know that we disagree with a policy or an individual or a situation in America because that's our First Amendment right. And I agree with that. And I am doing the same exact thing. I disagree with a policy and I disagree and want my voice to be heard, just like anyone else would. My voice is just as important as any other voice. And that means that we can be heard just like any other voice, and that we can have a protest just like any other organization, any other individual. That is our right as Americans. And so, to the question, why protest? Why not? Isn't that what America is about? Isn't that what the freedom of speech allows? To peacefully discuss an issue and to say that my opinion is separate of an opinion of others. I want to be clear that SUNY Broome is aware of my position. They are aware of my disagreement on this event, and they have been aware of this for many months. But they have chosen to move forward without any changes, without any revisions to what they are going to be saying. They don't believe my voice has any weight or any meaning. I disagree, which again has left me with the choice of protest, and I will take up that choice and use it. I want to emphasize that this protest, like all protests, is peaceful, and any time that violence enters into a protest, it is no longer a protest. There is no such thing as a mostly peaceful protest. Either a protest is peaceful or it is not. And it doesn't matter whether it's 2020 or 2022, violence is a crime. A protest is a protected right. I have been told that as a reaction to my taping of the event in December of 2021, that this event on May 3rd will not allow anyone to record the event. We disagree with that. We believe that's not to the advantage either of the individuals holding the event at SUNY Broome, nor to the public at large. It takes away from the ability to show exactly what is being said and what is being taught. We think that the public deserves to hear every word of everything that is being said, whether or not that creates a response in favor or against the event itself, because that is the free expression of individuals on whether they agree or disagree. Again, this event will not be made public, even though the news media will be invited to the event. This again is a reaction to the fact that some elements of SUNY Broome were displeased with the fact that I disagreed vehemently on their December 8th, 2021 event. I believe that not allowing the public to hear the event and to be able to make up their own mind on what that event entails is disadvantageous to the public. It allows an event to be criticized for both what it does not say and to critique those who are making comments about the event without any way to prove their statements, to show the evidence of what they are speaking about. I would suggest would be open to recording so that the public may be aware of exactly what is being said and exactly what is being taught, and to then be able to fairly evaluate exactly what has happened. Over the coming days, I will be speaking more about this event and why I believe a protest is the proper reaction to this event. This is meant as an introduction to this protest that I am proposing. You may not agree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I ask if you don't agree, please respectfully do so. But I believe it is important, especially on issues that are so divisive in America, that we have an opportunity to openly discuss things like racial justice, social justice, America in general. Because I think in having that open discussion, we actually move things forward. That doesn't mean that everyone will agree. In fact, everyone should, because we're all individuals. We all have different viewpoints. But we can come to a consensus when we have free and open discussion about the issues that matter to us all. That's what I would hope for a deliberation. That is not what is planned. If you agree that the issue of race in America, if the issue of equity is something that you would want to discuss openly, without restriction, on both sides of the issue, then I ask you to join my protest. Make SUNY Broome and others aware of where America stands and our community stands. I want to thank you for taking a moment to hear an introduction to why I believe there should be a protest on May 3rd at SUNY Broome in Binghamton, New York. And I will speak more about this in the near term. But until that time, I thank you for your time and your interest, and I hope to be able to answer more of your questions as we move forward. Thank you.